You'd mentioned that this was something that's been in the works. He really got out there with his hitting the young voters. He used social media, Mamdani, here to really target a lot of the youth here in New York City. He picked up a lot in the Muslim community. He picked up a lot as well in Asian and Latino communities. But what are you expecting come the general? Primaries are a lot different as we head into the general election in November.
First of all, he's defeatable. Looking at the numbers, 432,000 people made him their first choice when they went to the polls. 432,000. Compare that with last November, November 2024, when 536,000 Democrats who had voted for Joe Biden in 2020 stayed home rather than following the leftward lurch of their party and voting for Kamala Harris in November. Those are what I call persuadable purples. 536,000 Democrats who would cross party lines or vote for a moderate Democrat, but will not vote for a communist, that's what he is, like Mamdani, a Jew-hating, anti-Semitic communist. So those 536,000 voters, combined with the 11% of the electorate who are Republicans and the 20% who are independents, can definitely defeat Zohra Mamdani.
Joe, when it comes to the breakdown of the numbers, to Betsy's point here, you look at whether or not the Republicans, because you got Curtis Sliwa on the one side, you've got the independent and current Mayor Eric Adams. If there's talk that maybe Sliwa might drop out just for the numbers' sake, is that going to be enough? And are voters going to go on this platform of anybody but Mamdani? Because that's essentially what they'd have to go back to.
The reality is that former Governor Cuomo had been so humbled that he would just slink away into the shadows. He has now indicated he is not getting out. And Mayor Adams believes that his moment has come and he has been chosen by God to save the city, like Batman. And so now the reality is the anybody but Mamdani vote remains very fractured. And so if people can get in a room and say that we have to choose one person, then perhaps he can be stopped. But I just want to say this because I think it is critical that Zohra Mamdani did not win in spite of anti-Semitism. He won because of anti-Semitism. There is no material difference between his political positions and Michael Blake's or Corey's or Scott Stringer or any of the other liberals that wanted to be mayor. The one material difference goes beyond the beard and goes directly to the fact that he is an unrepentant, unapologetic anti-Semite. It has nothing to do with the fact that he is Muslim. Dr. Oz is a Muslim, right? We've had former members of Congress like Congressman Ellison, Congressman Carson, who serves the great people of Indiana, is a Muslim. None of them refuse to acknowledge the Holocaust while saying that their real issue with Israel is this so-called genocide happening in Gaza. So that to me is the issue. Democrats who for years said, I don't understand how Republicans could vote for Trump are now not saying a mumbling word when it comes to an unapologetic, undeniable anti-Semitic who is their party's choice to be the mayor of the city with the largest Jewish population outside of Israel.
And I'll get to Betsy in a second, but Liz, what do you make of living in New York? The anti-Semitic comments that he's made, number one. But I also wonder, do you think a lot of the youth voters that he picked up actually understand maybe what he stands for?
Look, the people that voted for him are these college-educated, wealthy, privileged, white, young people that are idealists, and they are products of our college education system, which has now been feeding them all these Marxist ideologies, all these anti-Semitic thoughts. And this is now what the result of that is. And I think it's just very telling of what the next generation of our leaders is going to look like. They are worshiping a guy who is a 33-year-old, silver-spooned, didn't have a job till he was 29. His dad is a Marxist professor at Columbia who was one of the organizers of the encampment. His mom signed a petition to prevent the actress Gal Gadot from attending the Oscars simply because Gal Gadot is Israeli. They think this guy is great because that's what they've been taught and that's where they stand. They have been socialized into this way of thinking that Jewish people are the oppressors and they're going to save New York City from all of us.
And speaking of saving New York City, Lieutenant Governor, what's this Saving New York City movement that you're saying?
Yes, Ray Kelly and I launched a movement last September when we saw this coming, and I predicted Mamdani would win, It's called SaveNYC.org. You can go to the website, SaveNYC.org. I hope you will. We will be organizing. We already have thousands of people signed up. We will be organizing groups to go into every borough and knock on doors. Mamdani and his forces knocked on 1 million doors. We're going to out-knock him, right? And we're also going to flood social media with messages about the dangers of this communist thinking, the horrors of this anti-Semitic, Jew-hating thinking. We've got to get to the electorate and fight back. And I hope everyone watching will support us, come join us. We can do this.
Big news of the day here. The big, beautiful bill has now cleared a hurdle here, Joe. But there's still a lot of debate. And then it has to go back to the House before it can go to President Trump's desk for July 4th, which is what he wants. Hopefully he can get that deadline. What was your takeaway from what was discussed with this big, beautiful bill, maybe some of the holdouts that they were able to flip? What's your takeaway?
Look, much of the bill is focused around Clinton. I was young enough or old enough to remember when he said, wealth work for Medicaid is apparently a burden that is so high that millions of people are going to be left without health care. If you're unwilling to work for it, then perhaps there might be something wrong with the people that are enjoying the safety net that our country and our tax dollars provide.
We shall see what happens. They're reading through that. 15 hours is what they expect it's going to take to read through all 900 and some odd pages of it. So we'll wait. Thank you so much, Betsy McCaughey, as well as Joe Pinion and Lizzie Savetsky. Appreciate you coming on for the Inside Track. Coming up next, trying to make some of President Trump's deadline here. Senators are